Hey, my name is Austin Morales with The Inner Gamer, and I'm here with Fox. Fox, please introduce yourself for us.
I'm Fox Buckley. I created my own game studio just a little while ago called Fox Game Studios, and we're partnering with JJ Castillo from Viewer Ready to create Pitch Hit for the HTC Vive.
I got to play this game, and I'm very impressed with it. It feels very realistic, opposed to some other VR that I tried out here at the Gaming Expo. It didn't make me all like dizzy and like sick to my stomach. So can you tell us about how you went about that and what your idea was and what did you hope to achieve from that?
So I'll start first with the motion sickness part, and that is due 100% to the tracking mechanisms that the HTC Vive has implemented. So these base stations that we've got are spinning lasers sort of around the room, and the little dimples on the headset and the controllers will pick those up. So it'll do one-to-one tracking anywhere you are within the room, and the important part of that is that it discourages artificial movement. So we don't want, as game developers, we don't want to move around the character without them actually moving around. So with the HTC Vive, you can walk anywhere you want, do anything you want, and it's represented one-to-one exactly in the game world. So that's the reason we have no motion sickness with it. We ended up getting the idea from a VR jam that JJ and I both went to, and we tossed around a couple of ideas. We had an HTC Vive to work with, but we ended up not going with this idea at the time because it seemed a little ambitious and there was a lot of stuff we wanted to cover. So we ended up creating a different game that got us the attention of Valve, who sent us the HTC Vive Pre. And once we got that, we decided to get together and see if the baseball game would be as fun as we thought it was going to be. Within a couple of days, we had a great prototype up that showed that it was really fun to actually just hit baseballs and break stuff, and so we threw together a quick demo for South by to try and get a bit of press. We've got a couple different modes that we're working on, but we felt like the Rampage level, where you destroy as much stuff as you can in a couple of minutes, was the easiest way to introduce to people the idea of using baseball in a VR sense without necessarily having to have any sort of like level of experience with baseball already. So yeah, that's kind of where the idea came from, and we're currently in development. We've been working on it for a little over a month, but most of the work has been done kind of in the last couple of weeks, so we're moving very quickly.
So what's the response been here at South by?
It's been great. Everyone has loved it. We've had huge long lines. We've had one or two negative demo experiences, but they've always been with people who have been really, really young. And technically, the headset is not recommended for people under the age of 13. So we have basically a 100% positive reception rate from people above the age of 13. That's not too many qualifiers to put out. But yeah, people have loved it so far. They've been really excited, and we're really attracting a crowd that hasn't ever tried out virtual reality before, which is nice. We're getting our chance to show people their first experience in VR, which is very special to me, because I remember my first experience. That was mind-blowing. So for people to get to try out on my game, virtual reality for the first time is just a huge honor for me.
Cool. So anything else you want to talk about the game? And
well, we've got several modes planned that are good. That should be providing a challenge all the way from people who have never done VR and never done baseball before to experienced people who have plenty of experience with both. We're trying to have a kind of a gradual difficulty curve, so the more you play it, the better you'll get at actual baseball, but then still keep a lot of the fun, quirky aspects we have here. So there'll be giant floating rings that you can hit stuff through, and there's going to be lots of objects to break. There's even talk about throwing a level on the moon where you're going to be knocking satellites out of orbit and hitting out, and so all sorts of stuff planned. Very excited with moving forward on it, and yeah, from the reception we've been getting here, it seems like people are pretty excited to play it as well.
So you made it on the Vive. Is this going to be on every other VR rig as well, or are you going to have to optimize it for that, or do you even want to go that route?
We'd like to bring it onto other rigs that have motion control systems and that are going to be supported by Valve's Chaperone system, but unfortunately we haven't been able to get our hands on a touch kit, on a touch dev kit from Oculus, or any of the PlayStation Move kits. So we don't have any plans on releasing it on other platforms, but the way I designed the game was that it was abstracted enough that if we did get access to the other headsets, it would be pretty trivial to implement the additional support.
Awesome. Now, is this, are you going to push the graphics anymore, or is this a limitation of the actual rig itself?
Not quite sure on the graphics front yet. We're trying to keep everything kind of low poly so that we don't have to worry so much about the performance of it. However, that being said, as it stands right now, we have absolutely no special effects, and we just have the single light that's casting shadows. So that's definitely going to change at some point. I don't know how high we're going to be able to push the graphics because we have tons of destructible objects, and that obviously will eat away at your frame rate. and lots of stuff to interact with. So not really sure how far we can push it, but it's definitely going to be getting a major graphical upgrade from what we're showing off here.
Cool. And where can we find you online?
We are at pitchhit.com, www.pitch-hit.com, and then my personal site where I've got a couple of DK2 games up is foxgamestudios.com. I've got a hoverboard game for the DK2 and another DK2 that doesn't actually require any controllers. It's just the headset.
Awesome. All right, Fox, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.